But right now I'm researching what is considered the real life inspiration for Annabel Lee from Edgar Allan Poe. And it said that her name was Anna Ravenel? Raven? Ravenel? Ravenel? It says she met Poe while he was enlisted in the service when he was 18 and she was 14 and she was already betrothed to another man. But they fell in love and used to meet in a cemetery because, he's creepy like that. Her father found out, locked her up. She fell ill and died without ever seeing him again. And her father buried her in like 5 empty plots to prevent him from finding out which one she was in to mourn her. So now she's said to haunt the cemetery looking for him. But a lot of the things that are associated with her also are associated with 2 other ghosts. But a brief little like clip of the story is in this, which is The Ghost Bridge and Other Creepy Tales of the Haunted South. So, yeah, I'm trying to get it to where you can see. So, this is just one of those books that I picked up and I was flipping through. I don't know how long I've had this one, honestly. I can't remember if this was a recent pickup or if it was just one I grabbed off my shelves. I think it's just one I grabbed off my shelf and was flipping through, and I saw that, and it intrigued me. So, let's see. One thing I do want to do. Need to. I need to open up my notes right fast that I have saved for this. I could throw these up over here. Did you stop doing that? Windows, why does nobody like me? Because you're annoying. Okay, let's see. Let's look at some of these other links I have. I just realized I don't have an ad blocker installed on this login that I'm on right fast, so I probably want to do that. Or not, it might not have like done it automatically. Alright, whatever. We'll have ads. Alright. So take some notes. I really do need extra light in here. Toothless baby, can you please move so I have a place to put my feet? Please move. Thank you, honey. There's literally so many places you could lay that are just as comfortable than right where my toes go. She's a biter also. Sorry, I didn't mean to like knock everything. But she sees nothing wrong with taking a little nibble of your toes when she wants attention, or if you're giving her love, she'll decide, oh, hey, I think I need to give you love bites. And it's like, no, you don't. Please don't. So, okay. So we do have, like I said, other ghost. but it was built in 1772. And this area is technically in Charleston, but it is also marked as a fort. Fort Moultrie, I think is how you pronounce it. But it's still like associated with Charleston, which is a beautiful city. I haven't been, God, probably somewhere between 15 and 20 years, but it is quite beautiful. Well, the church was built in 1772, not the graveyard, but the graveyard came right after. Because technically, you don't really build a cemetery, you just plop people in the ground. Ah, this is one of the oldest cemeteries in the country. Yeah, this is stupid, but I did just like read, double check, um, to make sure it did say country and not county because sometimes my brain likes to add letters and take letters away. Um, the graveyard is not exclusive to followers of Unitarianism Universalism, which preaches the acceptance of people from all different beliefs and backgrounds, meaning nearly anyone could be buried in the cemetery who wanted to be. It's one of the least manicured grave sites in Charleston. Alright. So this is looking for who might be the lady in white of the graveyard. She's one of the ghosts that's seen, and it's whether or not it's her or someone else, which this just gives um the overview of the story. I do like this. So this says that they have 5 plots side by side, buried her in one of them, never put the headstone up. And since they don't disturb the plots, Poe could never tell which plot was the one that was hers because it would be the most well kept. It's kind of funny. It says, that with this, and here's actually the poem Annabel Lee, but it said that, she might be the inspiration for it, but also, supposedly his wife was the inspiration for it. And just as a writer, I have to laugh that people are like, it has to be this one person and it can't be multiple people because let me tell you, you write anything and a little bit of everyone gets kind of put into it. It a star. It doesn't really matter like who you're necessarily writing about because everybody like gets added in. So to say that unless it was like one of these things that this was written clearly before he met his wife, then you know, you could say that, but I don't know when he met his wife. I don't know when this came out. Uh, but just to say, oh, it has to be for one person and not for another one, it's just like could have pulled inspiration from, two women that he loved in his lifetime to make one poem. It happens. So I feel like there was something on here I wanted to write down though. All right. I did want to note that the 5 burial plots are next to each other. So I guess it was 5 plots total, not 5 plus 1. I do think it's neat that they don't like to disturb the grave sites after somebody's been buried. But it also makes me wonder if they prefer it to people get placed in their cemetery without like any embalming fluids and things like that. And natural burial, which honestly, I would love to be able to sign up for that, but it's one of those things. It's gonna be a little bit of a morbid conversation. But it's one of those things where to get a natural burial is apparently really hard. Like they want you to go into the ground with all the embalming fluid and everything. So finding a place that will take you without all of that, like just dead, is apparently really hard. So somebody outside just honked hello. Let's see. I think how I want to word my words to write this down. All right. Wait, okay, so Annabel Lee was his final poem. So again, yeah, it he definitely could have written about both women in one go. So Atlas Obscura did a email blast today about the gray man. It kind of makes me chuckle. All right. So possible ghost 2 is Lavina Fisher. Oh my gosh, I really need more lights in here. I am like it is hard to see my no, not like hard to like the point I can't write, but it's very dark right here. Let's see. She was hanged. What was her crime? All right. She owned an inn a few miles outside of town with her husband, John. Um, there was a says trouble started when the thieves behind a string of robberies couldn't be found. A vigilante group showed up at the inn. A fight started, and she reportedly threw the man's head through a window. I'm guessing still attached to his body. Shortly after, a member of the group was robbed on his horse, and a woman was part of the group of robbers. So they were both her and John were found guilty of the crimes, which highway robbery meant death penalty. So they were both hung. Uh, After a failed escape, Lavina approached the noose after John had already been executed. Her last words: "Save your words for others that want them, but if you have a message you want sent to hell, give it to me, I'll carry it." And some say she was hanged in a white dress, which would make her possibly the woman in white. Two bodies were found in their inn after the couple's death, and many believe the Fishers were not only welcoming guests but killing them. She continues to haunt those who dare disturb her grave. Alrighty. Let's see. What if it wasn't that her and her husband killed people, but like, what if they stumbled to the inn and found it already, with the previous owners deceased, and they just buried him and took over? That'd be a more interesting story. No, not really, but uh, mm. It's funny that she, haunts people who disturb her grave because they don't really disturb graves at that cemetery. It would help if I could think of words I want to write. This probably make y'all laugh. I basically have like just music playing on repeat in my head right now, and it's making the words that I want to write down difficult because I'm trying not to write down song lyrics that are just playing in my head on fucking loop because that's just uh how it goes. Anyway, yeah. And then lastly we have Mary Whiteridge. I'm guessing it's hard to tell ages of ghost because I feel like a 14-year-old girl would look a lot different than a woman who's married. And in this case, middle-aged. The final potential face behind the lady in white was a middle-aged woman named Mary Whiteridge. Mary was married to a man who battled poor health for most of his life. When he got particularly sickly, he was sent to Baltimore for treatment, and on the voyage, he passed away. When officials wrote to Mary to ask what to do with his body, she never responded. Without another option, he was buried in a pauper's grave in Baltimore. And it turns out she did not respond, was that she physically couldn't on the exact day her husband died. Mary had also taken her last breath, dropping dead in their home. Ew. I don't know why that just like grossed me out, but I guess in my brain it's just like she literally breathed and dropped. Um, she was buried in her family plot next to an empty plot, and it said that she wanders as the white lady in white looking for her husband. So be creepy if they died at the same exact time. Let's see. Write down these notes. I like how with Lavina it gave her husband's name, but not Mary's. Make sure we down that right. Name is not mentioned. I do have really neat notes, like how neat I am writing right now. And like how neat I originally started writing compared to hang on. I guess some like real chicken scratch notes in here. Compared to like this chicken scratch shit that I like I'm writing all nice and neat. Like at 3 a.m. though, I'll be writing absolutely terrible. Alright, died same day as her husband. Who was he in or was he just traveling? Right, he's traveling. You think he haunts his grave? She's buried in her family plot. You ever like start writing a word and your brain takes over and just adds extra letters? I was trying to write and I wrote any. Oh, wonder. I'm sorry, I keep like everything's like going like this every time I type anything. Or move anything, and I apologize. I have the weirdest shit like saved on. I think. All right, so let's see. So what are some of these names? Mary Whiteridge. It does not say when she. All right. So according to Find a Grave, Mary died in 1907. My computer thinks so hard on that one. There. What is it? P.R. Whiteridge was his name? Or I think it's P.R. Whiteridge may have been his name. Born in something, New York, died in. Okay, there we go. It's right up here. I like how I'm like looking on the fucking headstone instead of fucking looking at the information that's provided. Okay, wife of G.R. Whiteridge. There we go. It's a lot more helpful too. So you can't see it on here because I'm not signed in. That's a weird face for my fucking camera to freeze on. But so I'm not signed in here, but I do have a Find a Grave. Um, whatchamacallit, account. I wish this would stop spinning and making my computer think so much and being weird. All right. Oh, but I was just saying that I have a Find a Grave thing because I am able to save the cemeteries that I have like I've researched. I do weird things. So, died January 23rd, 1907. She was born in Cooperstown. And in Mount Pleasant. That was it. Husband is GR. What range? I hope I actually did manage to mute it that go around when I was coughing. Let's see if I can just see all of the graves. That would be helpful. I think I might be making my stuff um, work a bit hard. I was just looking to see what the famous memorials were for this. Uh-oh. I hate that my ad blocker is not installed, which is nice for them because I mean it means they get the ad revenue, but at the same time it's very annoying because it just means more shit is running on my screen. Right, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I may have been here on one of my trips to Charleston just because it looks vaguely familiar. Let's look at the newest photos from this year. It's really pretty. It's definitely much more overgrown than what you would expect a cemetery to be. But it's also really nice because it has a lot of like the natural trees and things like that. I wonder what this was. I think if this is like on another side or something. I like that I'm looking as if I can actually see anything on these. Um, yeah, we'll go back in the opposite direction. The Garden of Remembrance. That's really pretty. Also, you're gonna like walk through this door and either like a snake or a lizard or a spider is just gonna like drop onto you. That'd be my luck. Mhm. I really like this picture and just where it lets you see like the overgrowth that they allow. It's really pretty. All right. Let's see. Oh, I don't want fucking video ad. Okay. It appears the thing I have, or the trait I have picked up most from my mom is when the temperature changes, I get like coughing fits. And it's only been like really super a thing for me. I don't know, like maybe the last year. Not even then. Like shit, like last 3 months maybe. Mm. But it means every single time my AC kicks on, I cough. I think this might be forced to think too much stuff. There's 618 memorials added. That's a lot. See if they have the GPS. Mhm. I think I hit like the back to cemetery, but all it did was update the list. I think I'm overtaxing my computer right now. With trying to stream and trying to research. Ah, fuck's sake. That's fine. And Interesting that she supposedly buried. Not that this is a guaranteed kind of thing. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to hit my microphone. Not that it's a guaranteed thing that this site would have her like memorial or anything like that. But interesting, it's not on here at all for her to be somebody who was famous. You sure I'm spelling it right? Which I guess it makes sense with this one, her not having a memorial because nobody knows which plot is exactly hers. But you think there would be at least an area. So I don't understand too with a story like this when it's like, oh, I'm gonna actually close the screen because it takes up a lot of bandwidth on my thing. But like you say that all 5 plots were side by side, so he couldn't ever like properly mourn. Like you can't. If they're all next to each other, it's not like they're far away. Like we have some pretty big cemeteries here in town, and I feel like if it was like a far distance, it would be hard to mourn somebody because, I can't find which grave is theirs, and but they're all next to each other. Like, there's not a lot of distance between 5 graves right next to each other. I feel like I did find oops, stop it. One that I have on here today. Maybe it was something else I saw. I thought I had saved a link, but it could have been. Is this it, maybe? Yes. So, when I did the initial searching for Anna, there was a woman who died in 1829, but she was born in 1791 by the same name. She was married and had kids. But there's not really a lot of information about her. And there's more information about her husband. They were in Charleston. Her kid was 10 years old when she died. So, but she would have been older, obviously. She was born in 91 and died in 29. So, I will make a note of that. He lived for a while after she passed on. What's his name? Her husband? Just John? Yeah, just John. She was 2 years older than her husband. Let's see. And child. This dude's name is Dr. Saint. Dr. Saint Julian. Now this is the family Anna is said to be part of is like one of the, if not founding families, a predominant family for Charleston. So it is possible that some of this just became more of a local legend because like somebody, just created it or whatever because Poe supposedly used a pseudonym when he went into the military. Lied about his age, lied about his name. He said he was older than the 18 years old that he was. And there is paperwork for that, so like I have to try and find it because everything says there's paperwork, but I don't know if there really is or not. But with her, I feel like something I was reading the other day basically said like it was hard to locate who she was. Let's see if I can. Hopefully this doesn't like close things down too much. So according to this post, Poe actually was really there, and he actually did befriend an Edmund Ravenel, Ravenel, Ravenel. I don't know how to pronounce it. Uh, and he kept a house on Sullivan's Island near the fort that Poe was stationed at. But and supposedly, Poe used Edmund as inspiration for one of his other characters. So, Poe really was there. He really did make a connection with his family. But Edmund would have been 16 when Anna was born. Not impossible for him to be her father, but also not super duper likely. Um, let's see. Said he did have a few older brothers, but there were certainly several branches on the family tree, so it's impossible to tell whether or not they were part of the same immediate family. So the story itself could have been from, and close some browsers. Uh, the immediate story could have been from, not the immediate story. The name could have been pulled from one of the other family members, and this story just kind of created later on. So I'm gonna do more research on it. This is my August piece I'm working on. So when do I want to have that out? I'm gonna try and have this out either on the 19th or the 26th of this month. Trying to be better about having like a real schedule for when I put out my content. Uh, which is nice. I actually have like a schedule for my YouTube drops and shit like that. But I'm gonna go ahead and hop up off here because I'm at a good little stopping point. I had fun researching with you guys today and talking with y'all and hanging out with y'all. I'll be back next week. And let's see if you are watching this on playback later on. I'll be back next Friday, 4 to 6, just like today. Well, I'm getting done a little early today. But yeah, we're gonna try and get back into the habit of being sociable on Fridays and starting our weekend with a little fun.